Yet another way to zoom inside of Photoshop is to use the zoom tool. Now, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in by pressing Control+ inside of this beige beauty image so that she fills the screen and covers up the windows in the background, just so we can focus in on her for a moment. And now I'm going to switch to the zoom tool near the bottom of the toolbox here. Go ahead and click on that tool, and notice if you click inside of the image, you can zoom on a very specific location. So by clicking in her eye, I am keeping her eye at the center of my zoom instead of letting Photoshop determine what detail in the image that it's going to zoom in on. And if I press the Alt key or the Option key on the Mac and click, I will zoom out. You can also, by the way, with the zoom tool selected, you can right-click to decide if you want to zoom in or zoom out. You can fit the image on screen. You can zoom into actual pixels, meaning you'll see one image pixel for every screen pixel. And then you can choose this very dopey option called print size, which supposedly zooms the image to the size at which it will print. However, it does nothing of the kind. It makes an arbitrary assessment of how big the image should be. If you held the printed image up to the screen, it would in no way resemble that screen image. So print size is useless. That's the way it really is. I do mean that, by the way. All right, anyway, the zoom tool, on the other hand, is very useful, and I want to show you something. You can access the zoom tool from the keyboard. Now, this gets very strange if you're not used to Adobe applications. I'm going to switch back to the marquee tool here. This is a strange one. It's Control spacebar or Command spacebar click in order to zoom in on a specific location. And then to zoom out, it's Alt spacebar or Option spacebar click to zoom out. Believe it or not, these are Adobe standard keyboard shortcuts. They work inside of Illustrator, InDesign, and a host of other Creative Suite applications as well. Finally, one other thing I want to show you. Let's say you want to zoom in on a very specific detail, like I want to zoom in on this eye over here. Then I could press and hold Control and spacebar and then drag around that eye to encircle it in a marquee. As soon as I release, Photoshop goes ahead and magnifies that specific portion of the image. Two last little tricks that I'm going to send you out with. If you want to zoom the image to one-to-one to actual pixels, then double-click on the zoom tool, and that will take you out to actual pixels. There is also, by the way, the keyboard shortcut Control-Alt-0 or Command-Option-0 on the Mac. I don't really recommend you memorize that one, though, because you can just double-click on these tool icons. To fit the image on screen, go ahead and double-click on the hand tool, and that will take you all the way out so the image fits on screen. That's a simple Control-0 on the PC or Command-0 on the Mac. So remember, to zoom way in, double-click on that zoom tool. To zoom way out, double-click on that hand tool. If you remember those few wacky keyboard shortcuts, you are going to be on your way to navigation nirvana.